Every smartphone in your pocket, every electric vehicle battery, every advanced fighter jet relies not just on silicon chips, but on something buried in rocks far away from bright city lights. Those obscure metallic elements, cobalt, lithium, rare earths like neodymium and dysprosium, are quietly mined, refined, and controlled. And in 2026, one nation has an overwhelming grip on the mountains where these resources are extracted. China. While politicians argue about tariffs and consumers gush about gadgets, a hidden supply chain gives Beijing enormous leverage over the technologies the world cannot live without. This isn't just mining, it's a form of soft power, a hidden grip that rules global tech. The resource that powers technology. Rare earth elements, REs, and critical minerals may sound niche, but they are the lifeblood of modern innovation. These materials are used for magnets, core 2, wind turbines, EV motors, and military hardware, batteries, lithium, cobalt, and nickel fuel electric vehicle growth, electronics, smartphones, laptops, fiber optics, green energy, solar panels, renewable grids. It's no exaggeration. Without these elements, the 21st century tech revolution slows to a crawl. Why mountain mines matter? Critical mineral supplies are concentrated in mountains, plateaus, and remote landscapes, what we'll call mountain mines. Some examples: Bayan Obo, Inner Mongolia, China, one of the largest rare earth deposits in the world. Sichuan Province, China, major source of rare oxides. Tibet and border plateaus, rich in lithium and other rare minerals. African highlands and South American mountains, rich in cobalt and lithium, but often linked to Chinese investment or ownership. These mountain mines are geographic choke points. Whoever owns them owns the future supply of critical minerals. Today, that's largely China. How China built its monopoly. In the 1990s and early 2000s, many countries, including the US, shut down or downsized their rare earth industries, considering them dirty and unprofitable. China didn't. Instead, it subsidized mining and refining, deliberately tolerating environmental destruction in exchange for dominance. Invested in refining technology, the hardest part, where China controls 80 to 90% of global capacity, bought stakes abroad, particularly in Africa and South America, securing contracts for lithium and cobalt, often via its Belt and Road Initiative, restricted exports strategically, occasionally cutting supplies to remind the world just how dependent it really is. By the 2010s, China wasn't just an important player, it was the kingmaker of critical minerals. The hidden grip on technology, dependence shows up in hidden ways. Tesla motors need neodymium magnets. Most sourced or refined in China. iPhones rely on rare earths for speakers and haptic feedback. Military hardware, US fighter jets, submarines, and missile systems require Chinese refined metals. Renewables, wind turbines, and solar grids depend on components tied to Chinese metals. The paradox: the West's bid for clean independence, electric cars, renewables, is chained to Chinese supply chains. This hidden grip means Beijing, without firing a shot, could squeeze access to the raw elements of modern life. Billionaire's dilemma. Western billionaires who spearheaded EV and tech revolutions, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Tim Cook, face a blunt reality. Their companies cannot scale without Chinese metals. Yes, Tesla is investing in lithium mines in Nevada. Yes, Apple quietly secures contracts elsewhere. But nearly every supply chain, somewhere down the line, bends back toward a Chinese refinery. Behind the glossy keynotes and luxury EV launches lies quiet dependency. The question is not whether billionaires know this, but how they plan to adapt. The geopolitical high ground. China's control of mountain mines is more than economics, it's strategy. Diplomatic leverage. Beijing can remind partners of their reliance whenever tensions rise. Military edge. US defense contractors grumble about dependence on adversaries for parts of advanced weapons. Green leadership. As the world seeks clean energy, China adds pressure by controlling renewable supply chains. Think of it less as commodity power and more as a new OPEC, but for minerals instead of oil. And instead of sitting in oil fields, the leverage sits in mountains and plateaus stretching from Inner Mongolia to Bolivia. Can the world diversify? By 2026, some diversification is underway. US reopening Mountain Pass mine in California, but much of its ore still goes to China for refining. EU and Japan funding re-recycling and new mines in Africa. Greenland and Arctic regions viewed as future mines, though environmental opposition is high. Seafloor mining startups, dreaming of bypassing landmines completely, though the environmental risks are staggering. Yet progress is slow. Environmental concerns, long lead times, and refining challenges mean the gap remains wide. In the meantime, China's grip remains firm. The environmental shadow. China achieved dominance by eating bitterness, absorbing environmental destruction at home. Regions around Bayonne Obo, for instance, face toxic sludge lakes, uninhabitable land, and severe health problems. As Western companies attempt to reclaim supply, they face a bind: either replicate China's destructive model, undermining their green image, or move slower, leaving Beijing in charge. In short, the eco-friendly tech revolution is propped up by some of the dirtiest mining practices imaginable. Why the grip will tighten? Looking ahead, demand only grows. Electric vehicle sales are projected to triple by 2030. Wind and solar capacity requires staggering quantities of magnets and rare earths. Smartphones and advanced electronics remain global essentials. Even if recycling scales up, primary mining will still dominate, and every percentage point of demand becomes a lever in China's hand. Unless supply chains shift dramatically, the hidden grip becomes not weaker, but stronger. The hidden war of 2026. So here we are in 2026. Trade blocs form around minerals. Billionaires hedge bets in Greenland or Africa. Small nations sign contracts they barely control. The ISA debates seabed rules, but the quiet truth is that, whether you're holding a smartphone, admiring a Tesla, or plugging into a wind farm, some part of that tech reality is chained to China's mountain mines. It is not visible in consumer ads, but in boardrooms and ministries, it is the resource war of our time. Conclusion: the price of dependence. While the world dreams of clean energy and sleek technology, the hidden foundation is dirtier, more political, and more precarious than most realize. China built its empire not on brilliant apps or glossy marketing campaigns, but on owning the gritty mountains that fuel everything else. And until the rest of the world finds an alternative, or pays the ecological and political price of rival mines, that hidden grip will continue to rule technology. If peeling back the curtain on these secret battles excites you as much as it unsettles you, don't just skim the surface. Dig deeper with us. Like the thought, share your perspective in the comments, and subscribe to keep following the resource wars shaping the future of tech.